Story number 1. In the quiet suburban town of Oakhaven, nestled amidst rows of identical houses with manicured lawns and gleaming white picket fences, lived the Lopez family. Michael Lopez, a young boy of 12, was the apple of his parents' eyes, a bright and inquisitive child with a penchant for exploring the world around him. One chilly autumn evening, as the leaves danced in the wind and the shadows grew long, Michael's parents announced their plans for a weekend getaway to the city. The idea of spending 2 whole nights home alone thrilled Michael, a sense of adventure bubbling within him. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the living room, Michael's parents bid him farewell, their lingering kisses filled with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. With a wave and a promise to return soon, they drove away, leaving Michael in sole possession of their cozy home. The initial excitement soon gave way to a sense of unease as darkness crept in. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of the wind against the windows sent shivers down Michael's spine. He tried to distract himself with television and books, but the silence of the empty house seemed to amplify every sound. As the night deepened, a strange sensation began to creep over Michael. He felt as if he was being watched, an unseen presence lurking in the shadows. His imagination ran wild, conjuring up images of menacing figures hiding in the darkened corners of the house. Suddenly, a loud crash from the attic shattered the silence, sending Michael's heart pounding into his chest. He froze, his breath catching in his throat as the sound was followed by a series of heavy footsteps echoing down the stairs. Panic surged through Michael's veins as he realized he was not alone. He could hear the footsteps moving closer, each one sending a fresh wave of fear coursing through his body. He scrambled to his feet, his mind racing with thoughts of escape. With trembling hands, he grabbed a flashlight from the kitchen drawer, its beam cutting through the darkness as he cautiously made his way towards the front door. But as he reached for the doorknob, a cold, bony hand clamped down on his wrist. Michael let out a scream, his voice piercing the silence of the night. He struggled against the grip, his fear turning into desperation. He tried to wrench himself free, but the grip was too strong. The unseen figure dragged Michael back into the darkness, his cries echoing through the empty house. The flashlight fell to the floor, its beam flickering wildly, casting grotesque shadows that danced across the walls. Michael was pulled into the darkness of the attic, his screams swallowed by the silence that followed. The house stood still, its windows glowing ominously in the moonlight, a silent witness to the horror that had unfolded within its walls. The Lopez family returned home 2 days later, their faces etched with worry. They called out for Michael, their voices echoing through the empty house, but there was no response. A search ensued, involving the police and the entire neighborhood. Posters were plastered across town, pleading for any information about Michael's whereabouts. But as days turned into weeks, there was no sign of the missing boy. The Lopez family was left to grapple with their grief, their home forever tainted by the mystery of Michael's disappearance. The attic door remained locked, a constant reminder of the horror that had taken place within its walls. As the years passed, the house became known as the Lopez House of Shadows, a place whispered about in hushed tones by the children of Oakhaven. Stories circulated of strange noises emanating from the house, of lights flickering in the windows at night, of unseen figures lurking in the shadows. The house stood empty, a monument to a family's tragedy, its secrets locked within its walls, waiting to be discovered by those brave enough to venture inside. Story number 2. In the heart of Birmingham, nestled amidst a labyrinth of cobblestone streets and ancient buildings, stood the imposing residence of the David family. Caleb David, a successful businessman with a penchant for the Gothic, had purchased the grand mansion years ago, drawn to its mystique and allure. Unbeknownst to him, the house harbored a sinister secret, a darkness that would soon ensnare him and his family in its chilling embrace. Caleb's wife, Amelia, a woman of grace and elegance, possessed an air of tranquility, that belied the unsettling events that were about to unfold. Their two children, Lily and Ethan, were spirited and inquisitive, their laughter echoing through the mansion's cavernous halls. But beneath the veneer of normalcy, a malevolent force stirred, its presence lurking in the shadows, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. As the days turned into weeks, Caleb began to notice strange occurrences. Doors would creak open and slam shut of their own accord. Whispers seemed to dance on the edge of his hearing, and fleeting shadows darted across the walls. Dismissing them as mere tricks of the mind, he tried to maintain a sense of normalcy. However, Amelia couldn't shake the feeling of dread that crept into her heart, a chilling premonition of impending doom. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the city, Amelia and the children decided to visit Caleb's business partner, leaving Caleb alone in the vast mansion. As darkness enveloped the house, Caleb's unease intensified. The silence was oppressive, punctuated only by the ticking of an antique grandfather clock in the hallway. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierced the stillness of the night. Caleb's heart pounded in his chest as he raced towards the source of the sound, the attic. As he cautiously climbed the creaky staircase, the air grew thick with an icy chill, the stench of decay creeping into his nostrils. Reaching the attic door, he pushed it open, revealing a scene of unimaginable horror. There, amidst the dust-covered furniture and forgotten relics, stood a creature of pure darkness, its eyes glowing with an infernal red light. Its skeletal form was shrouded in a tattered cloak, its gnarled fingers outstretched towards Caleb. Terror gripped Caleb's heart as he stumbled back, his mind reeling in shock. The creature advanced, its movements swift and predatory. Caleb's breath caught in his throat as the creature lunged towards him, its claws outstretched, ready to tear him to shreds. In that moment of utter desperation, Caleb summoned every ounce of courage he possessed. He closed his eyes, shutting out the terrifying sight of the creature, and focused on his inner strength. A surge of energy coursed through his veins, his body responding to his primal fear. He opened his eyes, his gaze meeting the creature's with a newfound determination. As the creature prepared to strike, Caleb unleashed a powerful blast of energy, a beacon of light piercing the darkness. The creature recoiled in agony, its form dissolving into wisps of black smoke that dissipated into the air. Caleb stood panting, his body trembling from the exertion. He had faced the darkness and emerged victorious, but he knew that the battle was far from over. The evil that lurked within the mansion would not rest until it had consumed him and his family. From that day forward, Caleb and his family were forever changed. They lived in constant fear, their lives forever shadowed by the horrors they had witnessed. The mansion, once a symbol of their prosperity, now stood as a haunting reminder of the darkness that lurked within its walls. Caleb, forever scarred by his encounter with the creature, became a tireless guardian, determined to protect his family from the evil that threatened them. He delved into the mansion's history, uncovering ancient texts and forgotten lore, seeking clues to vanquish the darkness that plagued his home. Amelia, her spirit unbroken despite the horrors she had endured, became a beacon of hope for her family. Her unwavering love and strength provided solace in their darkest moments, reminding them that they were not alone in their fight against the darkness. Together, they faced the unimaginable, their courage and resilience tested at every turn. Their story is a testament to the indomitable human spirit, a chilling tale of horror that will forever haunt the annals of Birmingham's history. Story number 3. In the heart of New York City, where towering skyscrapers scraped the sky and the streets pulsated with life, stood the Peterson residence, an elegant Victorian mansion that had stood the test of time. Daniel Peterson, a successful businessman with a passion for history, had meticulously restored the old mansion, preserving its grandeur while infusing it with a sense of modern comfort. Emily, Daniel's wife, an artist with a penchant for the macabre, found inspiration in the mansion's intricate details and rich history. Her paintings often captured the mansion's eerie charm, its shadows hinting at secrets buried deep within its walls. Their two children, 12-year-old Olivia and 8-year-old Ethan, inherited their parents' love for the mansion's enigmatic atmosphere. As the holiday season approached, casting a magical glow upon the city, Emily embarked on a journey to showcase her latest works at an international exhibition. With Emily away, Daniel found solace in the company of Olivia and Ethan, their laughter echoing through the grand halls. However, their peaceful existence was shattered when a sinister presence crept into the mansion, its malevolent aura casting a pall over the once vibrant home. Unseen and unheard, the entity lurked in the shadows, its eyes glowing with an eerie red light, its touch as cold as the grave. It whispered secrets into the wind, moved objects of their own accord, and left traces of its presence in the form of chilling sensations that crept through the air, sending shivers down the spines of the unsuspecting residents. Daniel, initially oblivious to the lurking menace, attributed the strange occurrences to the wind rattling the old house's bones. He dismissed the whispers as echoes of the past, the movements of objects as mere coincidence, and the chilling sensations as products of his imagination. Olivia and Ethan, however, were not so easily fooled. Their playful spirits dimmed, replaced by an uneasy apprehension. They sensed the entity's presence, its malevolent energy casting a shadow over their once carefree lives. As the days turned into weeks, the entity's influence grew stronger, its presence more palpable. It became bolder, its manifestations more evident, its whispers louder, its touch colder. One stormy night, as Daniel lay in bed, he heard a blood-curdling scream emanating from Ethan's room. Rushing to his son's side, he found Ethan cowering in fear, pointing towards the closet door. As Daniel cautiously approached the closet, the entity emerged, its grotesque form materializing from the darkness. A wave of terror washed over Daniel as he faced the monstrous creature. His heart pounded in his chest, his breath caught in his throat. But he knew he had to protect his children, to stand between them and the encroaching darkness. Summoning every ounce of courage, Daniel confronted the entity, his voice trembling yet resolute. He reminded it of the love that bound his family, of the power of their resilience, of the unwavering hope that shone within their hearts. The entity recoiled, its malevolent aura weakening under the force of Daniel's words. The love that radiated from the Petersons' bond was a beacon of light that pierced through the darkness, a testament to the human spirit's ability to overcome even the most terrifying adversaries. As the first rays of dawn pierced through the darkness, the entity vanished, leaving behind only a lingering chill in the air and a renewed sense of determination within the Petersons. They had faced their fears head-on, their love for one another shielding them from the darkness that had threatened to consume them. News of their harrowing encounter spread throughout New York City, and the Petersons became local legends, their names synonymous with courage and resilience. Their mansion, once a haven of warmth and comfort, had transformed into a battleground against the forces of evil, a testament to their unwavering spirit and the enduring power of love. Our 3 true Home Alone horror stories are over. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Before you go, I want to remind you to be safe when you're home alone. Always lock your doors and windows, and if you ever feel like something is wrong, don't be afraid to call the police. And if you're looking for more horror stories, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I've got plenty more where these came from. Thanks for watching.